All right, welcome everybody. It is David Thomas. I got Mr. Jay Woolwine with me as always. You guys know the drill. We're here every Tuesday about 4 p.m. Eastern to give you some motivation, some inspiration, and some education. We talk about a lot of different things, all around mindset. So whether it's directly related with trading or maybe just personal development in general, it's all going to help you in your journey to get where you want to go. You know. So Jay and I were talking, a little bit earlier, and it kind of sparked this conversation about today talking about perseverance, you know, and the more that we think about it, the more we realize that perseverance is probably the most underrated skill or key to success. You have talent, intelligence, and even connections. They all matter, but without grit, they're only going to take you so far. It's the willingness to keep pushing forward when you're hitting obstacles, and that's going to make the difference. I've seen so many people with great ideas or potential, they just give up when things get tough. You know, they're on cloud nine, they hit a hurdle, and boom, I'm done. The ones who succeed are the ones that keep pushing through even when everything inside of their body is telling them to quit. I think about people like Thomas Edison, right? Everybody knows this story probably. He failed over 1,000 times trying to invent the light bulb. If he had stopped at failure number 999, we'd have gas lanterns and candles, right? It's the same with athletes, entrepreneurs, or marriages. Those that endure when it's hard are the ones who eventually see the result.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think a lot of people underestimate just how long and how difficult that path to success can be, right? There's that myth of overnight success, right? But nobody ever has overnight success, right? It's almost never the case, right? What people don't see are the late nights, right? The rejection, the failure, the grind that's behind the scenes, right? Nobody sees that. And the perseverance is the bridge between failure and success, right? Take somebody like, you said Thomas Edison or J.K. Rowling, right? She was rejected by, I think, 12 publishers, right? Before Harry Potter finally got picked up, right? Imagine if she'd stopped at rejection number 11, right? We would have never seen Slytherin.
And I bet those other publishers are kicking themselves, man.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that that entire series would just not it wouldn't well it would exist, it would just we would have never seen it, right? It'd be gone, right? And it's not just in creative fields like writing, but in business, right? I've seen companies that have been on the brink of collapse, right? They filed chapter 11 or whatever the one where you like restructure is, and they just turn things around, right? And then they come back because they just refuse to quit, right? The founders just keep pushing, learning, and adapting. I always think about like that picture of Jeff Bezos with a hand painted Amazon sign in his
Right.
bedroom office, right, with books piled up on the desk, right. That was pretty humble beginnings, right, and he just kept pushing, and look where he's at now.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good point. It's about the mindset behind the perseverance, right? I think people sometimes confuse persistence with just simply being stubborn. But real persistence, it's about being adaptable. It's not blindly doing something over and over. It's about being willing to learn from, okay, what worked, what didn't, from your failures, and then you adjust and you keep going. It's about getting smarter and moving forward. I read this quote once that stuck with me. It said, "Perseverance isn't a long race; it's many short races, one after the other." And that's what it is. It's very true. You don't just fight through one big challenge and then, oh, finish line. It's about that daily commitment, getting through those daily challenges, showing up again and again, even when you don't feel like it. And it's the small, consistent efforts that they just continue to add up over time.
Yeah. Think about that in every area of your life, right? Whether it's building a business or getting fit or even growing in your faith, right? You're going to hit plateaus, right? You're going to feel discouragement, but that's where most people quit, right? And that's precisely when they need to keep going, right? When you run into those walls, right? I mean, think about like farmers. they plant seeds, right? They water them and they wait for weeks and weeks, right? And there's nothing. There's no sprout, no visible progress. It's just dirt, right? But beneath the soil, the roots are growing, right? And if they gave up just because they didn't see anything on the top, right, they'd miss the harvest. Right? And that's exactly how perseverance works in our lives and everything, right? You might not see the results right away, but that doesn't mean that there's not growth going on. And you just have to keep nurturing that process, and it will grow.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really powerful image too. I mean, you think about it, growth is what's happening beneath the surface long before we ever see it. So, I think that's why so many people, they give up. They expect instant results, and that's just not life. But think of it this way, like building, you've seen those huge skyscrapers, right? What do they do before they start building that skyscraper? They dig out, right? They dig deep. And the deeper they dig, actually, the taller the skyscraper is going to be, right? Because they need that deeper foundation. So digging, that takes time. And I've learned in my own life that the times where I wanted to quit the most are usually right before that breakthrough. And then I'm like, man, I'm so glad I didn't quit. Or sometimes it's been, man, I wish I hadn't quit. But it's like there's this resistance right before something great's going to happen. But the only way to get to the other side of that is by pressing through it. You've heard that saying, the only way through is through. So whether it's, learning a new skill like trading or something like that, launching a business, pursuing your dream, or, having a better marriage, the key is to just keep showing up.
Yeah. You think about that, you've probably seen that cartoon where there's like two guys digging a tunnel,
Right.
and one of them just hit diamonds, right? And he's like, woohoo. And the other guy's like all dejected, and he's got a stockpile of diamonds. It's like 10 times as big as the other guys that are like one stroke away from his pick, right? And he quit.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, those moments of greatness, or those moments of the greatest resistance, often come right before the big payoff, right? And I think about so many people who quit right before they would have succeeded, if they had just held on a little longer, right? If Jack could have just held on to the door, he would have made it on the boat.
That's the analogy I was hoping you'd use.
Scooted over, right? He would have seen the breakthrough, right? That's why, I always remind myself that success is built on the other side of failure, right? Every time you push through a challenge, you are building more and more resilience, right? And that resiliency is what makes you stronger for the next obstacle, right? Perseverance isn't just reaching a goal, right? It's about becoming the kind of person who just refuses to quit, right? Who refuses to be defeated. And that mindset sets you up for life.
Yeah, it's very true. So hopefully you guys really listen today, apply this to the struggles that maybe you're going through in any area of your life, and know that perseverance is what's going to get you there. All right. So we love and appreciate you for watching, as always, every week. God bless you all, and we will see you back next week. Take care. Bye.
See you guys.